I'll show you one other piece that is not finished, and there's an unfortunate reason for that. Suma Desu, who's now at Apple, led some of this. So again, it's Mechanical Turk. What we did was we took our 10,000 words and asked people what they thought about them on these different emotional spectrum, right? So it's a reasonable thing to do. We want to move away from just this big, happy, sad dimension. And as I think I talked about before, right, there are these 6 dimensions for emotion, right? We had the Plutchik chart, which is even more complicated. But anger, disgust, sadness, and fear make 4 negative emotions, right? So we have this Anna Karenina type story, right? That there are these more ways for things to go wrong. There's just happiness. There isn't sort of a breakdown of happiness. It's just positivity and surprise, right? So this is the Inside Out, right? So incredibly, Pixar made a film about it. So these make sense. War, torture, murdered, right? These are words that people seem to feel like they feel anger. They do not. Piano does not make people angry. So that's good discovery. We have disgust. Again, piano is not a disgusting thing. So here we only have about 2,000 of the 10,000 words, and that becomes the problem. We put up 2,000 words. It worked okay, and then we put up the rest of them, and this is costing many thousands of dollars to run. But we misestimated things, perhaps how much they should cost. But I think maybe that was part of it. But really, what happened was someone, the way we presented the page could be attacked by a script. So bad actors passed the script around, and it just filled it all out randomly. So it was all garbage. But we have 2,000 words for which we do have good scores, but we just didn't get the full thing. So we kind of stopped short of it. Anyway, I can show you what's happening with this, and I'd still like to finish this. We'd need to get funding for it. Kind of stalled on it, basically. But so now we're into fear. So these are, very similar kinds of words, right? So people do not fear bath. There's obviously babies were not surveyed in this, or cats. Cats were not asked. Banana. People are not scared of bananas. And then these are so surprise gets some different things. So earthquake, lottery, there's slightly different things to just what the fear and anger, and disgust is a funny one. And Beans and Johnson. Do not surprise people apparently. Or doors, or steward. Stewards flags. Yeah, so it's at least a kind of a funny surprise. It's a joke. So then I made these plots, and I'm sad that we haven't published it, but or made a whole instrument out of this thing. I mean, we certainly have enough to get somewhere. But so fear is out. And what we could do is something where, yes, we've tried to get people to read all these things, but we could probably do, I've tried to resist this, but we could probably do something where we extrapolate out using some crazy neural network thing. We did this before any of that stuff, like words of egg, any of that madness appeared. So this is the word earthquake, and then this is, right, so if people aren't happy about earthquake, this is from 1 out to 5. So 1 was the lowest you could, I guess this is 0, this is the minimum. And these kind of spider plots, it depends how you want to do it, you can kind of fill them in like this, and it gives you a shape. So it really kind of, surprise and fear, a little bit out in sadness, but it's sort of really more out on here, right? So some people, disgust maybe is a bit tricky for people to kind of think that, we really have to be careful with how we ask this. Yeah, right. It's clearly not a fear thing. It's surprise and sadness. So that's earthquake. These are units. I'll just finish this just a little bit. The ink. This is wow for surprise. The heart. So we don't have units for happiness. Emoticons, obviously. Emojis as well. We do, right, I've mentioned this before, Scott McCloud, we didn't actually use it, but just to use these as the facial expressions that correspond to what's going on. And then I just have a few more examples. So laughter, when asked about, right, so people go out a little bit on surprise, so it has that kind of, this is a really positive kind of word, a little bit of surprise. When you look at things like war and torture, they go out and surprise a lot, but they essentially maximize these 4 negative points. And I think that's something we could see fairly convincingly from these 2,000 words, which is a bit of a problem for going forward, perhaps, is that surprise is an axis by itself, happiness is an axis by itself, but these ones are often correlated. Not always, but they're often correlated, right? So his lottery has that really, kind of a clear shape. This shape is a compassion or a pity, could be pity, but could be compassion shape. So it's got a bit of sadness and happiness. We couldn't get that with just that single index, right? Because we're asking independently, how do you feel in terms of happiness and how do you feel in terms of sadness? And you can have both of those things. Writing, to get to one word, just to show one word that should be showing you disgust, but it really sort of pushes out on these other things. So they're not as, at least through trying to convey emotion through words without emojis and whatever, right? Through that very tight filter in some ways, it really reduces the ability to distinguish those 3 at the word scale. Okay. Wow. I mean, you could just. Okay, so that's a good place to stop because of both time and actual content. All right. So no class next week, but episodes are online. No physical class. Episodes are online in the instruction section. All right, people, and then we have 1 week after that. Not that anyone's counting. But come talk about your projects. Let's have fun. All right.